You walk into the room, and before you've said a single word, before you've even reached the cage, your hamster is already there. Up on its back legs at the front of the bars, nose working, whiskers fanned out, waiting. It knew you were coming. And when you lean in close, it looks right at you, those round dark eyes fixed on your face, and you feel it unmistakably. This little creature, out of everyone in the world, knows me. And it does. That part is real. But here's the strange thing almost no owner realizes. Your hamster, looking right at your face, almost certainly cannot see your face at all. It has no idea what you look like. It could not pick you out of a crowd by sight if its life depended on it. And yet it absolutely, specifically knows you. So if it isn't your face, what is it? Welcome back to Beyond the Cages. We're counting down the 5 things your hamster actually recognizes you by, from number 5 to number 1. And number 1 is the one that changes how you see the entire bond between you. Subscribe before you go, because by the end of this you won't think of your hamster as an animal that sees its owner anymore. You'll understand that it knows you through doors you didn't even know were open. Stay until number 1 because it reveals what you actually are inside your hamster's mind, and it's not what you think. Number 5, the blur where your face should be. Let's start with what your hamster sees, because it is nothing like what you imagine. Your hamster is extraordinarily nearsighted. Research on hamster vision suggests their visual acuity is somewhere around 20/2000. To put that in human terms, a person is considered legally blind at 20/200. Your hamster's eyesight may be roughly 10 times worse than the threshold for legal blindness in a human. It can see clearly only a few inches past the end of its own nose. Beyond that, the world dissolves into soft, shifting shapes. Light, movement, large blurry forms. But no detail, no sharp edges, and certainly no faces. There's a reason for this, and it isn't a defect. Hamsters evolved as crepuscular, burrow-dwelling animals, awake at dawn and dusk and underground in pitch-black tunnels for much of their lives. Down there, sharp distance vision is useless, there's nothing to see. So their eyes traded fine detail for sensitivity in low light. Their eyes also sit on the sides of their head, giving them a wide, almost panoramic view, great for catching a predator's movement from any angle, but poor depth perception and poor precision. And they see very little color. The rich palette you live in is, for your hamster, a muted, washed-out place. So picture what's really happening in that sweet moment when your hamster looks right at you. It isn't seeing your eyes, your expression, the face you'd know in a photo. It's registering a large, warm, blurry shape that moves in a familiar way, looming gently above the cage. The recognition you feel is real, but it is not coming through those dark little eyes. It's coming through something else. And the strongest of those something else's is next. Number 4. The real you lives on your skin. For your hamster, smell isn't a backup sense. It's the master sense, the one it builds its entire understanding of the world on. And it's the sense that truly holds the identity of you. A hamster's sense of smell is exquisite. It navigates by it, communicates by it, recognizes by it. Your hamster has scent glands on its body, on the flanks or hips in Syrians, on the belly in many dwarf species. And it uses them constantly, rubbing against objects to lay down its own scent and claim its territory. Its whole cage, its tunnels, its hideouts, are stitched together into a scent map. It reads the way you read a familiar street. And over time, through every handling, every time you reach in, you become part of that map. It builds a scent portrait of you, slowly, and ties it to the things that matter most: food, warmth, safety. You don't smell like a threat. You smell like the shape that brings good things. That scent portrait, far more than anything visual, is the real you in your hamster's mind. And here's where it becomes intensely practical, the part every owner should know. Because your identity lives in scent, scent can be confused, and scent can be erased. Always wash your hands before you pick your hamster up, because if your fingers smell like the snack you just ate, a nearsighted hamster can quite reasonably mistake your finger for food, and a nip blamed on a mean hamster was really just a confused nose. And then there's the cage. When you clean it, the instinct is to scrub away every trace. But to your hamster, scrubbing away every trace means erasing its entire scent world. The map, the territory, the comforting smell of itself. A hamster returned to a totally scentless cage can behave as if it's been dropped into an alien place, stressed and disoriented. The fix is simple. When you clean, leave a little of the old bedding behind, so the world still smells like home. Number 3. The conversation you can't hear. Now for the sense that explains the very first thing we started with, how your hamster knew you were coming before you said a word. Hamsters have excellent hearing, and over time they learn the specific sound of you. The pitch of your voice, the rhythm of the way you talk to them, the pattern of your footsteps crossing the room. Long before you reach the cage, your hamster has already heard you. Your tread on the floor, the cabinet where the food is kept, the crinkle of a bag, and matched it against everything it knows. That alert little animal waiting at the bars wasn't seeing you arrive. It was hearing you arrive, and smelling you arrive, and coming to the front to meet a sound and a scent it has learned to trust. But hamster hearing goes somewhere yours simply cannot follow. Humans hear up to roughly 20 kilohertz. Hamsters hear far beyond that, deep into the ultrasonic range. And they don't just hear up there, they talk up there. Scientists studying hamster vocalizations have recorded calls reaching well above the limit of human hearing. Dwarf hamster pups, for instance, produce ultrasonic cries centered around 40 to 60 kilohertz, frequencies completely silent to your ears. Sit with what that means. There is an entire channel of sound in and around that cage. Squeaks, calls, communications, that your hamster lives inside and you have never heard a single note of. The cage you think of as quiet is, to your hamster, full of sound. You and your pet share a room and a bond, across a wall of silence that only one of you can hear through. There's something worth sitting with in that. The little animal at the bars, turning its face up toward you, looking for all the world like it's gazing at you. It isn't really seeing you at all. It's reading you, the scent left on your hands, the exact pitch of your voice, the timing of footsteps that, day after day, have only ever ended in food and warmth and safety. It's assembling a portrait of you out of senses you barely think about, through doors you've never looked through. In its own quiet, blurred, scent-soaked, sound-rich way, your hamster may know you more thoroughly than you know it. Number 2. The moment it reads you with its whiskers. There's one more sense at work, and it takes over completely in the moment that matters most, when your hamster is in your hands. Watch a hamster explore. Those long whiskers, called vibrissae, are not decoration. They are precision touch sensors, sweeping constantly, reading the texture and shape and nearness of everything around them. In the dark of a burrow, where the eyes are useless, the whiskers are how a hamster sees, feeling its way through tunnels by touch alone. And when your hamster climbs onto your open palm, those same whiskers go to work on you. Up this close, vision finally has a small job, but it's touch and smell that lead. The whiskers brushing your skin, the nose reading the warm landscape of your hand, mapping the fingers, the creases, the heat of you. And this is where you can actually watch recognition happen. A hamster that doesn't yet know you will freeze in your palm, tense, ready to bolt. A small prey animal in an unidentified place. But a hamster that has learned you will do something different. It will relax. The whiskers will sweep with curiosity instead of alarm. The nose will work calmly, and it will begin to explore, to climb, to settle. That shift, from frozen to relaxed, from bolting to exploring, is the single clearest sign your hamster has identified you and filed you under safe. It's quiet and easy to miss, but it's the truest "I know you" your hamster has. Number 1. What you actually are to your hamster. So we come to the real question, the one I promised would change how you see all of this. If your hamster doesn't know your face, your name, your voice as words, or anything you'd think of as you, then what exactly are you to it? Here is the honest, strange, beautiful answer. You are not a person to your hamster, because your hamster has no concept of person. You are not an owner because it can't grasp ownership. What you are is a signature, a recurring, reliable pattern stitched together from a specific scent, a specific voice sound, a familiar warm shape, and a predictable rhythm in the day. A pattern that appears again and again, and that has only ever meant food, warmth, gentleness, and safety. Over weeks of patient, consistent contact, that signature crosses a line inside your hamster's mind. It moves from the category of possible threat into the category of known and safe. And that crossing is real. It's not your imagination. It's an actual, observable change in how the animal behaves around you. But there's a tender truth folded into this, and it's the most important thing to understand about loving a hamster. This recognition is built, and it has to be maintained. A hamster's memory is short. The bond isn't a trophy you win once and keep forever. It's closer to a fire you keep lit. Go away for a long stretch, change your scent dramatically, stop the daily quiet contact, and that carefully built signature can fade, and a hamster may need time to relearn you. Which means the bond between you isn't a single achievement in the past. It's something you renew, gently, almost every single day, with your hands and your voice and the simple reliability of showing up. And maybe that's the most moving part of all. Your hamster will never know your face. It will never know your name or that you went to work today, or any of the 1,000 things that make up who you think you are. And yet, out of scent and sound and warmth and routine, out of the patient, ordinary act of caring for it day after day, it has built its own version of you. A version that doesn't depend on how you look or who you are to anyone else. To that small, nearsighted, scent-guided animal, the signature it has assembled from you means one thing above all: safety. And being known like that, not for your face but for the steady, gentle pattern of how you show up, is a rarer and more honest kind of being known than almost anything else in the world. So the next time you walk into the room and your hamster is already at the bars, nose lifted, waiting before you've made a sound it could possibly understand as a name, you'll know what just happened. It heard your footsteps in a day that always brings you, caught your scent on the air. It felt the warm, familiar shape of the one presence in its small world that has only ever meant good things. It didn't come to the front to see your face. It came to meet the signature of safety. And that signature is you. Tell me in the comments. Does your hamster come to the front of the cage when you walk in, before you've even said a word? Tell me what it does and what you think gave you away. I read every single one. I'll see you in the next one.